Arsenal go 7 points clear at the summit of the English Premier League. They go into 2023 top in scintillating form, scoring lots of goals, and 7 points. They were 5 before the World Cup. Within 2 games of the return, they are now 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League. And the big question is, are you scared yet? This Arsenal team has, even for diehard Arsenal fans that said they would have a good season, this Arsenal team, I believe, has surpassed their expectations so far. I predicted they'd come third, and then I moved them up to second in the league when we saw how poorly Liverpool had started. I didn't expect them to be this good. I didn't expect them to be as consistent as this. And even today, where you could throw in the fact that Brighton came back a little bit, they nearly got it to 4-3. Arsenal weren't at their strongest in the second half. Arsenal did enough. They scored enough goals to stop any kind of comeback from Brighton becoming a reality. There are elements of this Arsenal team that no one gets everything right. I'm someone who recently questioned Eddie Nketiah and said, is he good enough to fill the void of Gabriel Jesus? Not so much his goal scoring, but his overall play. And I know most Arsenal fans, even the ones that publicly backed him, had reservations over this. 2 games in to Gabriel Jesus being missing, it's the same Arsenal team. Eddie Nketiah has stepped up impeccably well. You'll get some people that have doubted Martinelli and Saka for a long time. They're players that I've always rated. They're players that on the Terrace have always had a lot of love. And they've gone on to next levels. Top class from Martinelli. And I do believe that Saka is of that world-class ilk now with the level of goal contributions that he is making. And then you have Martin Odegaard, a player that when Arsenal signed on loan a couple of years ago, I thought, is he really that good? Why would Real Madrid let a star go? Why would Real Madrid allow this to happen? He came in, I thought his first 6 months he was good. 6.5 out of 10. He signs on a permanent deal 18 months later, and you are looking at one of the best creative midfield players. Number 10s, if you want to use that expression. Number 8s, if you want to use that position. I just think he's an attacking midfield player. It's a lot easier to describe him as that. He's one of the best in the world. Today with a brilliant goal and one of the assists of the season. You'll be hard pushed to find a better assist. You'll be hard pushed to find a more accurate pass. A very crucial point of the game to really give Arsenal that cushion to stop Brighton from coming back. So when I look at this Arsenal team, we haven't even mentioned Thomas Partey in the middle. Xhaka this season having his best year as a Gooner. At the back, still young, but getting more and more experience. I think that Ben White has been a revelation at right back this year. As great as Tomiyasu is, Ben White is essentially made that role his own now. This Arsenal team, whether you've been an Arsenal fan that's always backed Arteta or not, always liked Saka or not, always backed Odegaard or not, the surprises keep coming. And that is part of the reason they are goddamn scary. Scary. They're scarier than I thought they were. I was worried about them. Now I'm petrified. They are so good, and they're nowhere near their ceiling. That's the bit that you have to let sink in for a moment. They're not even near their ceiling as of now. They're not near the ceiling. They're going to get better. They're going to add Mudryk. They may even add João Felix to the mix, plus whatever they're going to do in the summer. Arsenal are back. They're back. And when we look at the league table, you can obviously see it on the screen next to me. Just going to look across my monitor. 43 points they've got. 1 draw, 1 defeat all year, plus 26 goal difference. Now, they're not scoring as many goals as Man City, but they're conceding, generally speaking, less. They obviously had a bit of a poor day conceding-wise today, but they're just not getting beat. 3 more victories now than City. By far the better team. You know, City are in a situation where Newcastle and Man United are a win or so away from catching them. Like, City have got to be looking over the shoulder rather than looking at Arsenal right now, because City are dicing with a little bit of danger. And as I've already said with Arsenal, there's more to come. There's additional levels from these guys. There truly, truly is. Phenomenal team, brilliant young manager. And I think no matter who's got what expected, I tease people You know, you'll probably get a gal that will come on later and want to call people out that didn't back Eddie and Nketiah. That's just normal, though. You know, if we went back through the archives, you'll find people. You'll probably find we have a gal doubting the manager. Now he backs him. You know, I remember George that's on Jess's channel quite a bit. I remember watching one of their shows where he was totally against the idea of signing Odegaard. Doesn't matter. Like, fans will get certain opinions wrong. Let's talk about the positives around Arsenal right now. And that's that I think they're blowing everybody's expectations away. There isn't a gooner out there that expected this. That expected 43 points after 16 games. Why would they? It's better than any other Arsenal team has ever done in the history of their football club. It's sensational to watch. It's making the season exciting. And someone called me out earlier saying, "Oh, you're definitely like a cheerleader for Arsenal." I'm like, I'm not. I'm the host of the Football Terrace. My job is to be professional. I get gassed up about every title race. Otherwise, what you guys wouldn't watch me if I didn't make it exciting. I just sat here going, "Oh, I'm so annoyed Arsenal won again today." Who'd watch? So I've got to express my true feelings, not the fan in me. The Man United fan in me is annoyed that Arsenal are where they are. But I can bury that to the side for a moment because I am a professional. Always have been, always will be. Let's go to your comments. But viewers, do me a big favor here on New Year's Eve. Working hard for you. Smash like buttons. If we get this past 750 likes while we're live, I will gift out 100 free memberships for you right now. Squad memberships. We'll give them out, 100 of them. Hit that like and that share button right now. Let's have a look at some of your comments. I wouldn't too much negativity. There is too much negativity out there from people. But Cullen, you know, as I say, like some people like the negativity. It's not really. If there has to be a negative conversation, I'll have it. If not, I won't. I feel like a boss going into 2023. It's a good feeling. You know, when your team is on the up and up, Arsenal will feel it more than anybody. But even as a United fan, I'm going into 2023 very optimistic. In the top four, getting better. And look, we ain't going to have a good January. But my club's being sold. I'm getting my wish. Like, I'm real happy. Arsenal fans must be over the moon. Can't imagine. I really can't imagine. Let's have a look at a super chat here that says, Odegaard is not from this planet. My word. Come on, you gooners. Odegaard is a different type of gravy right now. His ability on the ball, his ball retention, his passing. Has he got 7 league goals already? I believe 7 league goals, something like that. This season is so good from him. I'm actually going to click on his page here and just check it statistically. 7 league goals and 5 assists in 15 mother games. And you will know my take on football. Eye test and output combined. I put. You call it the eye put. That's what we call it now, the eye put. That's what it's all about. What does the eye test say, coupled with the output of a player? And Odegaard is now delivering the output to match his clear, unadulterated, undeniable talent. Excuse me there, a little gassy. How many points did Neville said City are going to win the league with? And do Patrick think that Spurs can still finish above Arsenal? We will be asking Patrick the second half of that question on the next Top 6 show that he bothers to turn up for. I don't know where he's been recently, Patrick. Been hard to find. Been hard. I don't know. You know, he might be chilling with Andy Tate right now. I don't know where he is, but he ain't around. Man ain't been around for days. When do Arsenal fans change the Mikel Arteta song to end with Arsenal are on the way to win the Premier League? Yeah, that's down to Arsenal fans to decide, but that song could be on its way very, very soon indeed. Terry and Jess celebrating. I'm not going to lie, watching Arsenal with Jess is stressful. She just screams the whole time. Legit. Like, my nerves ain't very good at the minute. I struggle to watch Arsenal with her, to be fair. I'm sure she's very, very happy right now. Excuse me, sorry. Odegaard is clear of KDB this season by far. This season, definitely. I think, excuse me, I've seen a lot of people challenging Kevin De Bruyne's in the top 5 midfielders in all time in Premier League history. Odegaard's got a long way to go to challenge that. But in terms of this season, he's definitely ahead of him. Definitely. Terry, every Arsenal fan needs to admit we are title favourites. Well, that brings me on to my big take on today's show, my big feeling on today's show. And quite simply that. stated privately to KJ earlier today that if Arsenal win this match, they are the outright favourites to win the English Premier League. 7 points clear. Mudryk on his way, maybe even an additional player on top of that. You have to factor in City. They've had a few injury problems at the back, but their main attacking and midfield players have been there all season. And you are 7 points clear. Gabriel Jesus is injured. That's going to be the end of Arsenal. And you play just as well without him. You score 6 goals in the 2 games. Or did you score 3 the other day? 3. So 7. 7 goals in 2 games without Gabriel Jesus. Arsenal Football Club, I predicted about 5 games ago, I thought you were going to win just with the nature of everything going on. Arsenal Football Club are now the outright favourites to win the league. They have to be. We can't be at almost the midpoint, 7 points clear, playing the best football, best defence, best collective attack, best creative midfielder, captain, talisman in Odegaard, and not be the favourites. Man City are not the City of yesteryear. They're gettable. They're more vulnerable when you attack them. So for me, Arsenal Football Club are the outright favourites now to win the English Premier League. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on that. We're going to bring out our panel in a little while. Jason, Gunnar Souls, Brandon's there with us as well. Terry, which city in England are you living in? I don't live in a city. I live in a little village. A little village called Lingfield in Surrey. It's very, very nice where I live. I'm from London, but I lived in Manchester, and now I'm here in Surrey. And do excuse me, I've had a bit of a cold recently. Yes, I did see Mudryk's story, and he was watching Arsenal again. Who knew? Who knew that he was going to be doing that? Who knew? I'm sorry, but that was not offside. Listen, Dan, 100%. I'm not going to lie to you. See, people think I'm an Arsenal fan. In the house, when I'm watching the game, I was like, oh, great last 10 minutes. It was offside. It was 100% offside. It was as clear as the nose upon the end of my face that goal was offside. GA, Jesus 10, Saka 12, Odegaard 12, Martinelli 9. See, what Arsenal have got is probably better than what City have got right now. City have got lots of goals from Haaland, and the majority of those goals are created by KDB. But KDB is not scoring loads, and nobody else is really scoring. So Arsenal have got multiple players in form, multiple players that can score, multiple players this year that are match winners. That's why there is a 7-point gap. Arsenal have got a 7-point gap over City because they've got more players on form, more individuals playing higher quality more consistently, and they have match winners. That's why I focus so much on GA, especially when the GA is match winning, especially when the GA is winning games. It's so key. Of course, you have to look at the eye test and uh, you know the goals that are clutch and everything else that comes with it. But this Arsenal team is legit. This Arsenal team is special, and this Arsenal team is going places. Our commentary, you don't believe what you just said. 100%. I believe Arsenal are the favourites now. They have a 7-point gap with more players coming in, playing the best football in the league, with the best defence in the league, the most consistent attacking group in the league, the most potent collectively in the league. Why not? There is no reason. I'm not going to go with just this history. History plays a part in football. It does. It plays a part. But if you watch City play, you know they're not as good as last year. They're very good, but they're not as good as they were last year. You predict it. Come on, you Gooners. Let's go. Daniel here says, to be honest, I'm back. If I'm honest, our back line were a little bit of a shambles after we took off Ben White and Zinni. Wherever you are, Patrick, I hope you're feeling all right. Happy New Year. Yeah, you were a little bit sketchy when those players came off, but that's to a degree to be expected, I think. To a degree, that's to be expected. I can't wait for the 15th of February, Arsenal versus Man City. I guess that game will get clear all the fuss up. League champions, come on, you Gooners. Yeah, look, I think for me, it won't be decided on that day. It could be. I tell you what, it could be decided then. The next 3 match days for all of the top 6 and Newcastle are massive. If you actually go through it, so I was looking at this earlier today. Like, let me skip to this, right? Listen to this. Let it roll off your tongue, right? So in the next round of games, you've got Chelsea playing Man City. Man United have got Bournemouth, which is a fairly easy game. Liverpool go away to Brentford. Okay. Tottenham away to Palace, which is hard. And Arsenal play Newcastle. So in terms of top four race stroke title race, Arsenal, Newcastle, Chelsea, City, someone's dropping points, right? You go to the next round of games. It's the North London derby. Within that, Chelsea play Palace. Man United play Man City the day before it. And Liverpool away to Brighton, which is a tough game, right? You go to the third round of games, which comes after the FA Cup. City versus Tottenham, Liverpool versus Chelsea, Arsenal versus Manchester United. So the next three games is huge in conjunction with your super chat. Because depending on if Arsenal win their next three, you win your next three, beat Newcastle, beat Spurs, beat Man United. In my belief, in those three games, City will drop more points. So you could find yourself 10, 11 points, 12 points clear going into that game against City. You beat them and you take it from 11 to 14. You've won the damn league. With 2.5 months to go, you've won the league, essentially. You've obviously not got to collapse, not bottle it. But these next three games, I'm telling you, if you haven't deeped how massive the next three match days are, where have you been? The next three match days are gargantuan. United have a slight advantage in that we have one I'd call gimme. We play Bournemouth at home, have to win it. And then we play City and Arsenal back to back. There's going to be so many twists and turns. Everybody's top four and title predictions are changing in the next three games. Mark my word. Viewers, how many likes are we sitting on now? Nearly 6,000 people watching. Let's get this past 750 likes. We can smash 1,000. If we do 1,500 likes, actually, I'll make you a better deal. If we hit 2,023 likes, so 2,023 likes, I'll give out 250 free memberships. 2,023 to mark the new year that starts in a couple of hours. Get it done. I want to hear from you now, my people. Egal is joining us soon as well with the boys. Terry, thoughts on Andrew Tate being arrested, held for 30 days? You reckon it's just to shut him up? I have zero opinion on that matter because I know none of the facts. I don't know the laws in Romania, and it would be pure speculation. All I'm going to say is this. I've seen people celebrating it. I fight for due process for everybody, even people I don't necessarily like. So I won't celebrate him being arrested. I would, to a degree, celebrate his incarceration if he was found guilty of the crimes he's being accused of. That's all I can say on it because I know absolutely nothing else. But I don't celebrate arrests of people when I don't know the facts because that's really weird. Can we all admit that Man City are weaker this season than the previous 2 years? Haaland is papering over the cracks. Man City have become a one-man team. There wasn't that before. Their strength has also become their weakness, is what Jay has got to say there. 7 points. They can afford to lose both games to City. They can. That insurance policy is there. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. We as Arsenal fans, we are disappointed, but it looks good at the top. So we get disappointed, but it looks good at the top. What are you disappointed about? Making me cough. Hurting my chest. Joe Guna become a member. Thank you very much, my guy. I really appreciate that. I am more afraid of Newcastle now than Man City. Now, that's a bit far. That's a little bit too far, in my opinion, bro. Little bit too far there. I would say you've gone a little bit too early on that one, me old mucker. But there we go. Right, it's time to bring out my panel, people. We got Egal, we got Brandon, we got Gunner Souls, got man like Jason as well. What's this here? Terry, do Tottenham fans realize they are currently 13 points ahead of them? Happy New Year to all of the chat and the TFT peeps. Yeah, I remember when I said that Arsenal would finish the season 10 points clear of them, and I got laughed at by everyone. I remember when I said Arsenal were going to come third, I got laughed at. The irony is, I weren't right with my prediction for Arsenal this season. They're better than I thought they were going to be. But the abuse I got was mad. And I'm still getting abuse for it. But you know what? It's all good. All right, panel time now, people. Hit likes, hit the share buttons, and all that jazz. Let's do it.
I'm in the mud. I'm in the mud.
You're in the mud. What's the matter? Why are you in the mud?
Jose Arteta out. Jose Arteta out. I doubted this team. I doubted this team, but my team, I never expected this in it, but I couldn't smile. What a way to end 2022.
A brilliant way to end the year. Egal, I want to come to you first. What did you make of the overall performance from your boys, especially with the shock result finishing just moments before the kickoff with City dropping points?
I would have rather had a 2-0 win because I like that clean sheet. But the 4-0, 4-2, I'll take it. Honestly, the performance overall, if you look at the scoreline, it's a, you know what? You don't want to concede 2 goals, but thinking the fact that it's away from home against Brighton, one of the better teams in the league, one of the teams that has better control over the games usually, a team that is good on the ball, a team that's better on possession than majorities of the teams that are lower down the table. And we made them look like schoolboys at a certain point in the game. At one point, I thought this game was going to be blown open. I thought it was going to be 4 or 5-0. But you know what? They made it closer than I actually thought it was going to be at the end of the day. But to leave this game, I just want to say Bukayo Saka, cool, calm, collective for that first goal. Big up to Bukayo Saka. Martin Odegaard absolutely stole the show today. He's showing right now he's levels above Kevin De Bruyne. At this moment in time, he's playing levels above every single attacking midfielder or every midfielder in this league, I would say, at this moment in time. The performance he put in today, I loved it. Then you go to that ball that he had also for Gabriel Martinelli. The what was it? The third goal or the fourth goal? I forget which one it was. But he didn't even look. It almost looked. He just pinged it to him. Amazing. And there's some people that are not going to get spoken about that we also need to speak about. We need to speak about some of the players like Eddie Nketiah got another goal. Big up to Eddie. What do you call it? Partey. He just does his job perfectly. Like, I think this is a guy who gives you 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 performances every single week. And that's the definition of someone who I consider world class. A player who just week in, week out just does his job. You don't have to worry about it. Same thing with Bukayo Saka, same thing with Odegaard. I could say right now we have arguably 6 to 7 players that could get into the Premier League team of the season at this moment in time. That's how good we are playing. A team with no world-class players at the beginning of the season. A team that was written off just a year ago. A manager that was written off. A club that was bantered for years. And now all you guys are missing the banter era. I told you guys on this specific channel, on the Football Terrace, after a match reaction versus Wolves, after we went on a 10-game winning streak I think last year, that this is a different Arsenal. And now you're starting to see it. You are actually starting to see it because a lot of you did not want to see the fruits of Mikel Arteta's labor until it came to fruition. And now that it's come to fruition, you're like, how did this team become so good? We've been telling you for months. We've been telling for you, some of you, for years that the groundworks have been built. And when I said to you guys, title-winning defense is being built and these kind of things are being built, you guys kept laughing. But now, who's going to have the last laugh? People like us, the fans of Arsenal Football Club. And that's what it is. It's not about division within the fan base. Our fans are the best fans in the world when we're behind each other. Every fan base, when you're unified, you're the best. So at this moment in time, everyone's unified, everyone's together, and I friggin' love it.
No, I bet you do. And listen, as you say, mate, this is the point of fan opinions. Sometimes you say things and they're laughed at initially. Like you last year, I remember on the Straight Facts show when you said doing the title winning defense, everybody did laugh because you were conceding goals left, right, and center. And I think the 4 games after that point on the bounce, you lost. So people are obviously going to laugh at it. At the beginning of the season, when I predicted you coming third, it was looked at as the most outrageous prediction you could make. And this is just the way things go. And everybody kind of cottons on at different times, sees things at different times as an example. But yeah, you guys are playing phenomenal right now. And I want to speak about some of the players individually. First of all, Odegaard. You mentioned there, Egal, better than KDB as this moment in time. But Odegaard's still young. KDB's coming towards the latter. Was he 30 now? 31. KDB? 31. Like, is this it? Is Odegaard going to overtake him now and become that chief creating playmaker in the Premier League? Is he about to take the mantle away from KDB?
Terry, I thought Bruno was supposed to do that, but he overtook Bruno. Now he's that guy. That's the guy. I'm telling you. Everyone's going to look at Odegaard as the benchmark for attacking midfielders in this league for the foreseeable future. I do believe it. As you said, Kevin De Bruyne is getting older, and maybe coming off the World Cup, he might be a little bit mentally fragile. And that Man City team in general, I'm telling you guys right now, they don't have the hunger and desire. They don't look like they want to win this Premier League. They don't look like it. They genuinely look like a team that is just going through the motions at times, and they're just trying to feed the top guy. Their goal might be to get Erling Haaland as much goals as possible, and to try to embed him. If something happens to Erling Haaland, they might actually be better off, because the way they're playing, he's the focal point, and when he's not there, you kind of see a different Man City.
So by that, I mean no one's kind of challenged Egal. I'm going to take that you all agree to some level with that. Are Arsenal now the favourites to win the Premier League, Brandon? What are you saying?
Don't back down.
Brandon, you're on mute, bro.
I don't know about favourites, Terry, because we've never done this before. We're still a young team. We're still learning. Manchester City, they've been there. They've done that. They know how to win this league. I believe, was it a season ago or 2 seasons ago, they had to come from 14 points behind Liverpool. So they know this game already. They know how to be the chasers of the team at the top. I'm just kind of taking it game by game. I think you're right in what you said at the beginning of the show. The next 3 games are very important and are going to show exactly where these teams are. I think, like you say, if we could beat Newcastle, and I would say get at least 7 points out of 9 out of them 3 games, then yeah, you could probably argue that we're starting to look like the favourites. But as of right now, nah, not just yet, not just yet. But on today's game, Terry, I don't like to point out too many negatives, because I don't think there really is too many negatives, but I don't want to see last 20 minutes like that ever again. Seriously. Like, we had complete control of that game, 4-1 up. And, you know, it just goes to show that we desperately need a solution to that midfield in January, because as soon as Thomas Partey came off the pitch and Ben White and Zinchenko, all of a sudden we started to get opened up. And I'm not taking any credit away from Brighton, because I said at the beginning of this game, like, a lot of people are not really giving Brighton as much credit for how good they really are. And they cause a lot of teams problems. They take a lot of points off the big boys as well. But, you know, we're quite lucky in the sense that 3rd goal was offside, because otherwise that would have made it a very, very interesting last 5-10 minutes. Saliba, you know, another silly mistake by him. But I ain't going to get onto him too much, because he's been excellent this season. He's a young player. He's still learning his trade. He's going to make mistakes as well. But at 4-1 up, I just kind of think, you know, the substitutions, again, I'm not going to blame Mikel Arteta, but as a player coming off the bench for Arsenal, you have to be ready. Do you know what I mean? You have to be ready. And I kind of look at, like, the 2nd goal, and Tobiasu was caught cold. A lot of our defending that we did wasn't really that great. But apart from that, our attacking play was exceptional again today. You know, Saka again, Martinelli, Martin Odegaard as well. A quick word on him, because I have to be another one to apologise. Do you know what I mean? I was one who said James Maddison over Martin Odegaard. We need to go out and get this guy. He's gonna prove to be a lot better, a lot more efficient in front of goal, create more goals and assists. Martin Odegaard is proving absolutely everybody who said that wrong. And £30 million is looking like an absolute steal right now. And just quickly as well on Mikel Arteta, because I've already said kind of what I need to say in terms of apologies about him. But regardless of whether we win this league or not this season, he has built an exceptional first 11. And it's a team that can go on, like Egal has said in previous shows, you know, they're 23, 24, 25 years old. They're not at the peak of their powers yet. You know, the more that these players play together, and the more that we strengthen our team as well with better players in other positions, strengthen our bench, the better we're going to get. So this isn't the finished article at Arsenal just yet. So yeah, big up to them.
I get you on that. I mean, Souls, from your point of view, obviously we know how much you rate this team right now. I'm sure you echo what Brandon and Egal have said. Are people writing off City too soon in this title race? You're on mute as well, bro.
You can never doubt what Pep and City can do. I mean, Pep's a serial winner, and that's where Arteta learned his craft from. But the one thing that I'll say is we're beating every narrative that you can possibly put in our way. Today, forget the result, forget the win. You know what people wanted today? For us to bottle it like we always do. When the result and the eyes and the pressure is on us, when the results are going our way, like City dropping points, Newcastle dropping points, that's when we tend to crumble. That's the matches we tend to lose. But this time we didn't. We absolutely put a performance out there, and we were like, we're going to score at will. You scored? Cool, we'll score again. You want to score again? Cool, we'll score again. And that's what we did today. We absolutely just scored at will. We wanted the 4 goals. We got them. We didn't want more than that. We didn't need it. So even at 4-3, I was like, you know what? This team is, the mentality it's showing is Man City level mentality. And I remembered, it's actually somewhat of an anniversary to the tweet I did last year when I got absolutely slaughtered for saying the fundamentals of this team are developing into Man City. And now we're seeing it. Now people are agreeing with the B-Tech Man City, with this, with that. The reason why I don't want to write Man City off is because the foundations of what this team is built on, Man City have been doing for the last 6 seasons. So there's no point writing the team off that we're looking to become. So they've been the most dominant period of Premier League history has come with Pep and City. They've added a cyborg up top. And guess what? Gets injured, it's no better. Julian Alvarez comes into the equation. You're saying he's a mug or something. The man is a World Cup winner and vital to the Argentina team. The man got taste of victory at the highest level. He's going to come back to Man City and be even hungrier and want to win that Premier League. These guys have shown mentalities that we can never possess yet because they have gone. What the scary thing is? We're so poor. And I'm going to say, I don't even think we've been good this season. This has been performances with frailties and clear areas of improvement, yet we're playing to this level. Whereas in Man City are the complete article. That's what we want to become. They show perfect performances. I can't name you one perfect performance. I've looked at all our performances and I can find flaws in them. And that's a positive. That's not me taking a dig at Arteta or Arsenal, but that's showing the levels we can go to. But the aspiration is to be better than what Man City have shown, become that dominant force. And that's the reason why you can never write off. It's like Barcelona. You're not going to write Barcelona off because the history they've shown and the comebacks they've shown are reasons why you can't ever sit there and go, yeah, just write them off. They're never going to do it. They did it like Liverpool. Liverpool know this. Liverpool have taken a bit of a lead against Man City. And look at what Haaland's saying. We need to hunt them down. Do you know the words people use make more of an impact than what they're saying? Because he could have easily said, yeah, we need to chase them down. We need to win our games. We need to come and, close the gap. No, he was like, we're hunting them down. That's the mentalities they're showing.
Silk pajamas, though. Do you understand what I mean when I say silk pajamas?
Yeah.
There was a famous boxer that once, there's a boxer that once said that it's hard to get up in the middle of winter at 4 a.m. in the morning and go for a run as a boxer when you're sleeping in silk pajamas. And Haaland wants to win this title, but I agree 100% with Egal. I think there is an element of this City team where if this running gets hard, just like when they were on 2 Prems on the bounce before when Liverpool won it, if you guys, excuse me, get this lead and take it to 10 points, because that could happen by the end of the next round of games. You play Newcastle at home, you'll beat them, in my opinion. Hard game, but you'll beat them. They play Chelsea. That, with the way City are playing, with what they're not putting in perfect performances. They're gettable. People get at them in every single game. Generally, far more than you get got at. Like today against Brighton was one of the first times I've seen since Leeds where a team was consistently at you. And that Leeds game was what, 10 games ago? Maybe not quite as much as that. Maybe about that. 8 to 10 games ago. I agree with Egal 110%. I think City, they're not quite at the races. They know they're not. And some of their more experienced players, I almost think it's a case of, I don't think they're going to have the fight and they're going to be able to dig deep enough, because to go from being top dog, not having to hunt anyone down for 2 years, to suddenly having to become hunter, that's a really hard task. It's a silk pajamas analogy all over again. It's a different way of thinking. So that's why I make you favorites. I'm not saying City are crap. I'm not saying they're not a good team. I'm not saying it. I'm not suggesting you're going to win the league by 10.
Oh, no, I'm saying it. We're going to win the league.
I believe.
But the reality is, even someone from that perspective, I'm still saying there's no need to write City if we know the history that City's shown. Because the one thing is, both teams, even Liverpool, have shown they can go on 10, 15 games unbeaten, unfazed, absolutely destroy opponents. But the reality is, I've always said it, Haaland, Man City doesn't scare me as much as if Haaland isn't in that team. Because when you have teams that can score from any position, look at us. Like, we've got Saliba, Gabriel on 2-3 goals each. We've got Tierney coming up with goals. Ben White coming up with goals. We've got
on 5
Artie's coming up with goals. Xhaka's one of the better goal scorers midfielders. Odegaard's our top goal scorer. Saka scoring goal. Martinez. Anywhere, any of that 11, even some of our substitutions, they've all got at least 2 to 3 goals in this team. And that's what you need. Sometimes you can't be on team reliant, especially in the Premier League. That's the mistake Liverpool are making as well by going for the likes of Gakpo and Darwin Núñez, is going for their 9 when the most dominant period in Premier League has shown false 9s work better to win the league on a more consistent basis than a pure 9.
Can I say as well, I think in order for us to be able to win the league, I do think we've got to get close to that 100-point mark. I genuinely do. But right now, and it's going to sound ironic considering what I said, I don't see a team in the league that can beat us. Not even Man City. I don't see Man United beating us either. Yes, at Old Trafford. And I don't think you deserve to win that game. I think we did. But I don't see a team right now that can beat Arsenal, home or away.
Well, I think just very, very quickly, Egal, I want to say on the point that you just made there, Brand, and with Souls, Arsenal have won 9 of their last 10 games with 1 draw. So you've also proven now, you think about that draw against Southampton where you battered them in that first half, you really should be on a 10-game winning streak in the league. So you've proven this season that you've got, your form this season is better than City's. One, yes, you're 7 points clear, but you won your first 5, then lost, then you won 4 on the bounce. You probably would have won 5 if you got to play Everton, but it got postponed. You drew, won another 5. Your consistency is so good. And you said it earlier, Souls, and this is why I'm predicting Arsenal to win the league. There's been 100 narratives from the end of last season until now as to why Arsenal won't do it, won't challenge, won't be in a top 4 race, definitely won't win the league, will definitely fall off in October. Jesus' injury over. And each time the team has been galvanized and pushed on beyond it. And I think the likes of Mudryk coming in are going to send you to another level. Because you are right in the comments that you guys have made. When you make those substitutions and 3 or 4 bench players come on, there is a drop-off. There is a drop-off in overall quality, especially on an attacking front. Like Eddie Nketiah has done a very good job replacing Gabriel Jesus. But Vieira and Marquinhos are not ready to replace Saka or Martinelli. Where I think Mudryk's different. When you read about Mudryk, when you read about how he's kind of spoken about as a player and the direction people see him going in, he's massive. I want to come back to you in a second ago. I want to do some of these super chats that have come in. First one says, massive win today. Brighton away was always going to be a hard game. We took out our half chances and a bit of, and Lady Luck smiled on us for the calm injury time is what he says there. We all know City take some time to get to full gear when these breaks happen. I'm an Arsenal fan, by the way, and I know injuries will happen. City is the best equipped to win the league compared to Arsenal. So good point. That's why that 7-point lead is golden, right? Top of the league. Hashtag come on you Gooners is what AA says. If Carlo Ancelotti coming as Newcastle, it will have blown my mind, and I'm an Arsenal fan. I don't know where that's come from, but fair enough. Thank you. This super chat here says, big up everyone on the football terrace. Great. Sorry, excuse me. Engaging, objective content and a secret Arsenal fanboy in Terry. I'm not. I'm really not. I just speak the truth. Absolutely buzzing as an Arsenal fan. Happy New Year, Egal, Jess, and other Gooners. Thank you very much for those super chats. I feel like I missed one. I swear another one came in. And I feel like I missed it, and I don't want to. What does this one here say? Sorry. Football is a funny game. Come on, you Gooners. Let's go. It certainly is. Sorry, you were going to say something, Egal, before I cut in. Sorry.
Pep Guardiola is going to look at Sheikh Mansour and he's going to say, I need money to catch Arsenal. That's the reality. I genuinely do believe the team that he has right now, he's looking at, he might look at them and he might say something's missing or he might need to add something. Because I'm looking at Arsenal. If we're going to strengthen in January and we're actually in this thing and we have a 7-point lead, I think we're going to still have a lead come when Jesus comes back, and it might not even be that close because Man City's upcoming fixtures, if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking at them right now. They got Chelsea, Man United, Tottenham, Wolves, and then Tottenham again. And we know Tottenham's their bogey team. And against any top 6 team that has 4 out of their next 5 against top 6 teams, you know they're going to drop points somewhere. And they just dropped points against Everton, and Everton are near relegation, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not looking at City like I would last year or the year prior, Terry. They're looking way more vulnerable than ever. And people who continuously say, oh, it's Arsenal, as you said, and continuously report back to the old days. Those are the old days. Look at what we're doing now. And these numbers and the way we're performing, we would need 6 or 7 like mixed performances before you can say that what you're foreshadowing is actually going to happen. The way we're performing, we're just constantly doing our business, and the way we're killing teams off early, it's almost like we can just sit on the leads and we can sit back and relax.
I completely agree. I wanted to ask Jason about Bukayo Saka, because it's another goal, another important goal, early, well taken. That's 2-2 since he's returned in the league. Brilliant World Cup. He's added the goals to his overall ability. Are we looking at a world-class player in Bukayo Saka?
Barring Mbappe and Haaland, I'm going to put my chest out here. I feel like Bukayo Saka is the best under 21 player in the world, basically. That's what I'm going to say. I'm just going to put it out there. He should be. This season he's been absolutely relentless. Great World Cup. He got, and he's hardly injured as well. That's the thing, because like what I was worried about Bukayo Saka was like he's been consistently played by Arteta as well. Like, is he going to be put forward to failure itself? But you know what? His injury has been he's injury free, and there's a player in there actually that can actually elevate us to the next level itself. And there's a player in there. How many goals has he scored this season?
He's got 6 in the league, and 6 assists. But he's got 10 for club and country this season. He's played 32 games and he's got 10 goals and 7 assists, which is pretty damn good.
I'm putting
you know how we're so good that people are saying the league is rigged for us to win. That's how crazy it is. I love it.
Well, yeah, I've got a reaction video coming out to that. I've seen a lot of people saying it's rigged, but listen, Bukayo Saka's just turned 21, and I saw Troops the other day say best under 23 winger in the world, or inside forward, whatever you want to call them, and you're hard pushed to find a player in his age category that's better. I think you'd put Neymar ahead of him when he plays those, but Mbappe as an example. Of course, Marcus Rashford's in that conversation, but they're older. Vinicius, yes. Yeah, I always forget how young he is.
It's just them two.
But yeah, like for me, right-sided.
Right.
But also though, Terry, you've got to take into consideration as well, Bukayo Saka is not just doing it for Arsenal this season when everybody else is playing well. Past 2 seasons, he's been the player that has carried us through games as well.
Yeah.
I mean, with for example, I'm not saying he's better than Mbappe, but with Mbappe, for example, he's got Neymar, he's got Messi, he's got Verratti, he's got players around him. You know, that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be relied upon him all the time. Whereas Bukayo Saka, ultimately, when Aubameyang left, and Aubameyang stopped being that player that we heavily relied on with his goals and stuff like that, Bukayo Saka was the next in line at 19 years old, carrying this Arsenal team. Not just carrying Arsenal either, England at times as well in that World Cup. Do you know what I mean? So I put him up there. I say he's one of the world-class players.
But
I think he's top 5 in the world in his position. Easy.
Yeah. I was going to say, I agree. I think he is. He's definitely top 5 in the world. I mean, I haven't made a list of 5, but he's going to be in it. I can't think of, off the top of my head, right-sided attackers, not wingers, but like midfielders, attackers. You can't name 5 that are guaranteed outright better than Bukayo Saka. It's an impossible thing to do. You might list 5, but to say they're all clear of him, is nonsense. The majority of the others that are world class are playing on the left. They predominantly play on the left. Mbappe's on the left, Vinny's on the left, Rashford's on the left, Mane's on the left. The Mane's a bit older. I don't know if people class him as that. You probably got Mo Salah in form on the right as an example. But even like I look at someone like Mahrez. 3 years ago, Mahrez clear. Saka right now is better than Mahrez. 110%. I can't think of anyone. I'll tell you who's a really good shout. And I know there's no Spurs fans here, but Kulusevski or Saka, which one is better?
Clear. Saka is clear. I'm telling you. I don't think what has Kulusevski's done this season. I'm just saying. Barring that last 4 months, I have not seen anything from him. I have not seen him, and I'm just
He's
going to put
been
one.
injured. I'll give him a pass. So there's no point comparing because Kulusevski's been out for a while. So
I agree. For Kulusevski to be anywhere near the conversation, we have to see more from him in the Spurs shirt and consistently performing over the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
That's what I
it's
think.
disrespectful to compare the two at this moment in time. Bukayo Saka's head over heels better than Kulusevski. And if you were to do a top 5 list, I don't think Kulusevski gets in. If you do a top 10
no,
list,
I agree,
he's
but
on
I
the
think it's
cusp of it.
unfair when someone's injured. It's like if Saka was injured and we started saying Kulusevski's
but
better.
that's
No,
why-
I disagree.
that's
I disagree because if Saka got injured for 2 months, he doesn't drop out the top 5 list, does he? Saka's still Saka.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
let's go back to what you're saying there, Egal. You wouldn't even put Kulusevski in the top 10.
If I actually thought hard about it, Terry, I did this once on my channel. I was literally thinking about it. I was looking up names, and I came up with a list of like 9 players that I felt like were categorically better than him. And when it comes to top 5, I think I could probably name them easily.
I mean, well, whatever I criticize Bukayo Saka for in terms of his decision making or like his goal scoring feats in his first few years at Arsenal, but I feel like he delivered this season. This season is where he actually improved as a player in terms of his decision making, going into the final third, scoring goals as well, dragging us out of hard moments as well. There's a few vital goals that he actually scored like during this season that actually got us out of jail. For example, the Leeds game as well, and even in the Liverpool game, he basically, after he missed the penalty in the Euros final, he's taking big responsibilities, and that's what I kind of like about it, and that's what world class players like him should be doing on a daily basis. And
Terry,
good to see.
just to give you an example, right? You have Bukayo Saka, you have obviously what do you call it, Salah, you have Messi, right? Outside of those guys, would you say Kulusevski's on the same level as a guy like Valverde? Would you say he's on the same level as a guy like Chiesa? Would you say he's on the same level as a guy like Gnabry? I could say Bukayo Saka is easily on those guys' levels right now.
I'm not going to lie. I think that Kulusevski's very, very good. Very, very good player. Whenever I've not really seen him have very, very many games for Tottenham in the Premier League where I've watched him and been like, he didn't do anything. He's been impactful. He's dangerous. He's got good outputs. So I think he's in and around that conversation. I think he really is good. I think he's a very, very good player, but I do think Saka's better than him. The one player I want to ask you all to choose right now. Saka leaves, but you get Ganac. Who would you pick?
I'm keeping Saka. Every day of the week.
Sorry, what was that, Terry?
Yeah,
Saka. So basically, Saka or Gnabry. Saka leaves and Gnabry comes in.
Who would you
Saka.
pick?
Saka.
The intangibles of Saka's work rate off the ball is something you cannot teach. He just the effort he puts in. This is a guy, we're 3-1 up. He's busting his gut to get back to try to stop an attacker from getting into the box. And this is a right winger. Most right wingers are just hanging around the halfway line saying, you know what, that's the left back and center back's fault or midfielder's fault. This is a guy who just works hard. And I don't see that from a lot of people. And Gnabry, I don't know his work ethic off the ball. I haven't watched Bayern too much, but I just don't want to lose Saka and the intangibles. And this is how old is he? 21? He's only getting better. This whole team, Terry, this is still the youngest team in world. We are the youngest team in world football at this moment in time, performing at this level. We are one of the best teams in world football, and it's only getting better. Every single person in the world wants Bukayo Saka. If you could take any player that's playing on the right that is not a mega superstar, they would take Bukayo Saka and swap him in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. I think you're absolutely spot on in relation to that. I think Saka's that good. Saka was taught to defend more. He said it himself, is what Brian's got to say. It's interesting because a lot of United fans today were talking about Anthony, and they were like, he should be in the team. And I'm like, on an attacking sense, he's not playing very well at the minute. But again, you lot won't watch Man United like I watch Man United. This guy 4 times today tracked back when... Who did we play today?
Wolves.
They were countering, and it was him that got the challenges in that stopped them from being able to break into the box. Those intangibles. No. Anthony. So it's almost a case of if you're not going to attack well, you've at least got to defend well. And the great thing about Saka, back to him, is he does both to a very high level. Jerome here says Kulusevski, 28 appearances, 6 goals and 13 assists. He definitely delivers. He definitely has for Spurs. Saka has been very composed this season, but Martinelli is more lethal. He's a young Cristiano Ronaldo instinct. Was involved in 3 goals today, is what my guy's got to say. Young Cristiano Ronaldo, I like that. New Year's resolution: Arsenal gets revenge over Newcastle and Man United, who will be in the top 4. Who do you guys think right now, if you had to predict, who's making the top 4 based on what you can see right now?
Man City, Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle, and Manchester United. United in the top 4, hands down.
No, I got Liverpool, and I think it's a toss-up between Tottenham, Newcastle, and what do you call it? It's a toss-up between Tottenham, Newcastle, and Man United. I can't put my finger on it, but at this moment in time, I think because Newcastle might strengthen, and Tottenham and Man United might not. If Newcastle strengthen, they could pick Man United and Tottenham to top 4.
Yeah, they certainly could. They certainly could.
I've
Terry,
got
sorry, what are you wearing during Christmas?
Well, because you wore the Santa outfit last year.
Oh yeah, I didn't do nothing like that this year. Man ain't been well enough like to do stuff like that. I literally finished streams to go to bed. Sorry, go on, Brian. You were saying something, bro.
Yeah, I think it'll be in no particular order, by the way. Arsenal, Man City. I think Liverpool will get in there. And then I see it being a toss-up between United and Newcastle. I don't see Tottenham getting anywhere near it, purely and simply because they are 45-minute FC. You know, their football is unsustainable. Chelsea don't look like they're anywhere near it, although they look like they're going to invest a load of money in January. But yeah, I still think Liverpool will get in there. I do think Man United look good this season, but I think Newcastle will strengthen in January, and I think that might just tip them over the edge.
There we go. Why do
Can I
people
just
say
say
Saka is soft? This brother is great. Yeah, I don't get that one. Calm down, Arsenal fans. You're yet to play 6 more games versus the top 6, and add Newcastle home and away to that is what Stockton's got to say to you guys.
Yeah,
I
but
think
they said this when we played Liverpool. We beat them. They'll say it again when it happens in the running now. It's like, I'm telling you, man, this is the season. We're breaking the narrative. Bring them on. Bring them on. I want you to bring the narrative so we can break it, because that seems to be working.
Let's football terrace community think of the best narratives going forward that you can come up with. Submit them.
We're smashing.
Let me
Stockton.
Stockton, let me ask you this, right? Of all the games that Arsenal played in the Premier League this season, how many of them have we actually deserved to lose?
Just one.
Of all
Leeds. That's it.
Leeds, I'd say that's
Leeds?
Just Man United. Just Man United game. That's it.
I agree with the United one.
So based off your logic, it makes no sense that you can say, oh, well, you know, you've got to play this team and this team and this team and this team. Because every single team that we've played so far, out of all of them, we've only deserved to lose 1 game. And that wasn't even the Man United game.
Yeah. I have a simple question to everyone who's watching this that's a rival. Are you afraid yet? Are you scared yet? Because know this Arsenal team that you've been bantering for the last couple of years, if we win the Premier League, especially any Tottenham fan who's watching this right now, if we win the Premier League, after you guys have had your best time in your football history since you last won the titles in the 70s or something like that, or whatever year it was, I forget. But if we win the league this year, that is going to hurt you deeply in your heart, because you know your team that you had, that Tottenham team under Pochettino, couldn't do it. You're going to know this Thomas Tuchel Chelsea team that won the Champions League couldn't win the league. You're going to know that Manchester United, since Sir Alex Ferguson, couldn't do it. And Arsenal, with Mikel Arteta, a manager that got ridiculed, players that got laughed at, are going to be able to do it. Come on.
Do you know what's even more scarier?
It's going to be so amazing.
Our owners are actually invested in the club. Like, this is the first time I've seen Stan and Josh both come before a transfer window's even open, and they're looking to put the money down. They've said, here you go, you've got the money, go get what you need. And normally when Josh is here, signings get done. So it seems like this Mudryk deal and the negotiations and the finances seem to be a bit of a sticky one, should we say, similar to what Ramsdale, a lot of back and forth, a lot of like, no, we want this, we want that. Josh comes in within a week, he'll shut off and closed. So it seems like they're getting their act together. They've seen their other franchises do well. And it's also come out today that from a sporting standpoint, Stan Kroenke's the richest sporting person in world football right now. So there's a lot to go in our favor. You know, they paid off the debt for the stadium. There's at least £150 million transfers every single. This is before sales. So
you know what's crazy
and
about that?
also commercially, we're a lot more valuable than we've ever been before. So
absolutely, and but this is the thing. I want to say it real quick before we go off the point. That's why I won't ever take an Arsenal fan ever again say it's not fair. We can't compete with City's owners. You have the richest owner, and they're all capped at pumping no more than 100 million every 3 years into the club. So the only reason that Arsenal and Man United haven't spent like City in the last decade, well, we actually have. We could have spent even more if our owners actually invested. It's all on our owners. It's never about City not being allowed to do it. You guys have got the richest owner. You guys should have been doing what Roman was doing. Imagine you spend what Roman does, but you build the base as well. Like, you could actually do both things at once. What you guys have done to build Arteta's team, you can then start adding world-class talent to that as well. No excuses.
Can I just say, though?
Go on, very quickly, mate. Go on.
Spending money doesn't guarantee nothing. Look at our front three, for an example, today. They cost a grand total of £7.5 million. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just about spending money.
No, it isn't. But this is why Man United have failed. If you spend money but have a brilliant structure, though, you're sorted. Like, I've never known a club to have a brilliant structure to be run well, spend hundreds of millions and be shit. It doesn't happen. It don't happen. So yeah, you got to do it. You've absolutely got to do it. People, do me a big favor and smash the like button before you leave. A super chat just come in actually that says, just realized Emil Smith-Rowe, Jesus, and Mudryk are all absent from today's game. We are cooking with a 5-star chef as our manager. And man like Ray, says Arsenal need to negotiate the tough stretch and play on Thursdays. Arsenal have to give up the cups to win the league. And I'm sure they'll do it gladly, Ray. I'm sure they'll do it gladly. Listen, viewers, I appreciate you all tuning in and having your say today. Have a happy New Year's, whatever it is that you are doing. We're back tomorrow with more content for you. Egal, Souls, Jason, Brands, thank you all very, very much. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all